$12 million for a playground.
Okay, we're back, and we've got DDAPT with us to go through this stage of the budget process. I don't know who's gonna start or who's gonna start us off. Okay, Robert, start us off.
We still gotta state our name and everything.
Nope.
So just to kind of give you a description of what we did to put our budget together. We visited with each of our program managers on an individual basis to go through each of their programs and kind of go through line by line and every expense that they go through and kind of get any adjustments that they needed to make for the next year, any changes, things like that. And then we consolidated into a department. Just to kind of wrap it up, from what I saw from the paperwork, what we're asking for from the county is 89,000, just shy of 90,000 for the UCAP project, and then another 409,000 besides the 369, which is contract.
Wait, say that again.
90,000 for the UCAP project?
90,000 for the
89,799. I see that.
Yeah.
But you said 409,000 above the 369.
Yes.
So the 369 is not contained in that 409. You're asking for 700 and
Right.
something. Okay. And why?
What's the 409 really quick? So it's
The
like-
409.
That's what I'm asking. What is
It's-
that?
Well, in the past, we've had a little bit extra from you guys besides what was just in the contract, and that's what that is. In the past, we've called it the Medicaid last resort.
Okay, but in 2016 it was 81,000. Then it jumped 4 times to 350,000. What did they spend out of that this last year, Deneen? Out of 2017 so far?
Well, it'd be hard for me to answer what they've spent out of it because essentially I think they take all of their expenses minus what they bring in from fees and grants, and then that's the balance. So I'd have to rely on.
And
DDAP.
where are you projecting to come in on that number this year?
We're actually gonna be short this year because we've had so many vacancies.
Hence for the increase for next year, because if you're fully staffed,
Right.
that's where you project the number to be based on current level. Okay.
I think to answer your question of what's the difference was between 2016 and 2017 on that revenue line, we had a discussion about the automatic, well, not automatic, but the merit-based pay increases for performance evaluations. And we told you that we didn't have the money to fund those, but if our alternatives would be either to furlough people or
That's right. I remember that.
so that's where that came
Yeah,
from.
you
That
gave
was,
that big long email, and yeah, I remember that now.
yeah, so that was your decision as a group to
Yeah.
give us 350,000. We've got, like Robert says, we still have quite a few unfilled positions, and I think, how many do we have? 8 right now, or 9? 9. We're hoping to fill those, but you know, there's no telling. So we'll probably come in under budget this year. If that continues through until even March of next year, we'll have, even if it's 2 or 3 of those positions still remain vacant, we'll have made up the difference.
Sure, but I get, my real question was that 409, but the 409, if you fill those positions fully staffed,
Yes,
if, based on, you're not asking for an increase in staff.
No.
You're saying at your current levels, if that full staffing plan is implemented.
Right.
You would need $409,902.
right, which is an
Okay.
increase of 50, I can't, let me put my reading glasses on.
So,
Just short of
so if the
60.
commission, let's say, kept the same level from last year, right, and this is, it's kind of a loaded question, I understand, but, and kept you at 350 and then restricted the other 69,000, depending on whether you filled it, that doesn't matter to you, as long as it's potentially available.
Yeah, exactly,
I thought I heard this was an increase, though.
It is.
it is.
It's an increase from the 350 from last year.
in the
Right.
350s.
The reason it looks like such an outlier on our budget is because it's only $80,000 in 2016. That's why, and since we asked them to budget off of 2016 years, it looks like such a huge outlier. It's
That's
not
correct.
an outlier on what we did last year when we made that switch. And that's what it's saying.
There are a couple of potential revenue streams that may come to us that we haven't calculated in here yet. You've probably heard some of this discussion around the Medicaid extension that's being proposed through an 1115 waiver that's been submitted to CMS. Representative Dunnigan was the one behind that, and a lot of that had to do with the Rio Grande issue and some criminal justice population issues as well. So we've heard that that's been approved and should start flowing between November and January. We haven't put that in here at all because until we see it in black and white from Medicaid, we're not gonna put that on there. But it's fee-for-service Medicaid, so there's no match requirement for us. It's for residential treatment, and we've done a little analysis of what that would mean to us. And it could be an additional $200,000 in Medicaid revenue where we wouldn't have to pay a match against it for residential treatment at Foothill. And if that's the case, then that would solve all of our budget shortfall issues.
So your,
Not all of them, but
your grant revenue though is from 2016 to projected 2018 is $4 million more.
4.5. I mean, it's huge.
And that, you're saying that's not even included in that? What you're,
Which one are you talking about?
yeah, which lines are you talking about?
well,
Your combined
looking at-
grant revenue.
yeah, it's 9,816,000.
You only collected 5.2 million in 2016 off the base budget year. That we asked you to come. What you're showing projecting is 9.8, and that's what we're saying.
So when you're talking about grant revenue, you're probably lumping a lot of things together
Yes.
that are block grant and then discretionary grants
Yes.
as well. So we've got a lot more block grant money than discretionary grants. The couple of lines that are big that are probably going to be just 2 years worth of revenue is the Fed STR opiate of 235, and then the STR opiate optional of 187. So those things are for 2 years, and we got those just starting in July, August. So those are basically all contract services. So when the money goes away, the contract goes away, or at least decreases significantly.
So that's $400,000.
Right.
Um,
The new STR, new JRI money, that's ongoing appropriation from the state.
747.
Same thing with Justice Reinvestment Initiative right above it, 535, that's ongoing appropriation from the state.
How come that dipped in next year?
It just kind of depends on how they do the formula based on population and
Well,
some of that JRI money too was kind of competitive application, which was
Right. Well, the reason I ask is because we're about to hear, so I'm asking a question for my next budget meeting that I know because the attorney came and told me that because of JRI, the workload is up huge. That would tend to make me think that money would increase, not decrease. So that's why I'm trying to wrap in my brain. I understand JRI, we're still working through potential issues on it.
Yeah. So what happened with that is we all submitted applications to the state. Salt Lake County submitted for the whole enchilada, all 2-point-something million of it. I think Southwest submitted an application for like 1.5 million. We submitted an application for, we're conservative in our application like we always are financially. And so Salt Lake didn't get what they asked for. Southwest didn't get what they asked for. Nobody really got 100% of what they asked for. So we were pretty pleased that we came in where we did because, they asked for like 3.5 million or something and got 1.2 million or can't remember now exactly how it played out.
Okay.
You have other questions for us?
No, but just as a reminder, online, we've learned on the stream, if you don't speak directly in the mic, it doesn't pick up very well on the YouTube.
Okay,
So-
is that better?
I'm just letting you,
But I've heard you for the most part, Richard, so.
Okay,
just as a reminder.
So on additional transfers, 2016 had 10,400 and you're projecting about 500,000.
For this year?
For 2018. Current budget is 350.
Yeah, what's the 499? Because I get the 409.
Well, it's the 409 plus the 89,799
Yeah.
for
Okay.
UCAP.
Okay. Then
Oh,
why
okay.
doesn't it say 410 for 2017? Does that make sense to you? Why it doesn't say 410 in the 2017 area instead of just 350?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
Probably should.
Well, the,
well,
what's in
350 plus
2016
60 for
or-
UCAP is 410.
Right, that's what I'm saying. We've encumbered the additional transfer of UCAP in our line for 2018, but not 2017. Was it a
20,
la-
the numbers here on 2017 on this sheet are what is in the general ledger. So
That's what I mean. So my question was, did the UCAP come, did we add that and apply for that after the budget season last year?
No,
Oh,
It was
No.
right at the last minute, but it was during the budget season.
right.
yep. Good thing you have shortfall, not a fully staffed because you're definitely gonna be short.
And UCAP took us a little while to get running, so
Right.
we've got plenty of money there.
It took a while to spend that up.
Okay.
Okay.
Why is drug court so low? Not drug court, excuse me. Beer tax.
That's according to Deneen, the sheriff's money.
I do not say that. In fact,
I was gonna say, you wanna open that can? I know where we're going, cause I'm with Deneen on this one.
That's what we spent this year for the EASY program. Most of the rest of that came out of our prevention budget, so that's all we needed to draw down.
And we had some previous years of beer tax that we had not spent.
Okay, so that's why it's
Our
up
allocation is
$160,000 that last year. The 56 still
Right.
does it for you to
Right.
maintain. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be, I don't
you,
have
Deneen.
anything to do with beer tax.
Right.
It accumulates in a trust fund, and either the sheriff's office or DDAP submit a request to draw down those funds. So I
Right, the
don't
sheriff thinks
control
that it's
it.
all
I
his so
don't-
that he can do
yeah.
enforcement. And the reality is there's a belief that it's for both enforcement and treatment.
And corrections,
Yes, prevention, I mean.
yeah. And the bulk of it actually goes to the jail
The STR prevention grant, didn't we get
for
$48,000
incarceration.
for that? I'm not seeing that on here. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's that-
Oh, okay. You'd have,
Okay.
yeah, that's the same thing. That line should be gone.
Or we continue on.
'Cause I don't think we applied for additional STR prevention. I think we just got that on the formula.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to explain to us or go over with?
Are you kidding? No, sir.
Okay.
Is that the right answer?
Deneen, is there anything else that we haven't covered that you?
We'll just have to work on this a little more, because just looking at the numbers, I'm taking that the expense budget is 13,206,000,
Yes,
and your revenue budget is 12,886,000.
right.
So your expenses still exceed the revenue on here.
By about 319,000.
Right, so how are you planning on plugging that difference?
Robert
hoping on- We're hoping on the revenue from the fee-for-service, the
Okay,
Medicaid fee-for-service, as well as the benefits to drop, because those are posted
Those aren't
a little
finalized.
high.
the benefit, well, the benefits number that was given should actually have
Should be
been
really-
reflective
Yeah, should be
of
really close.
actual experience.
It wasn't, because I know people that are on the waiver, they were way high.
So you use the number on the reports, not on the summary sheet that was sent to you?
I I used whatever was detailed by employee.
Yeah, there was a summary sheet that was the number that should have been used.
Okay, I can go back.
Go
and
back
look
and
at it.
replug those in and please
Yeah.
resubmit that to Deneen and she'll get it to us.
Okay.
Like, but please send it to the clerk auditor ASAP on that.
Anything else, Commissioner Ivy? Do you have any questions there?
No.
Okay. Thank you for coming in, and we'll keep working through the process.
All right.
Okay,
Maybe the next time we meet, we'll know something more about the Medicaid fee-for-service revenue.
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you.